Rafe, stop! Rafe, stop! Just relax for 1 second. We don't know where we're going, all right? Give me the scroll. Just give me the scroll. You want this? Wait!
Netflix's Outer Banks Season 4 has set up an intense final chapter. After the tragic death of JJ Maybank, his lifelong friends are out for revenge on his killer. In the Season 4 finale, JJ was stabbed to death by his biological father, Chandler Groff. As the season unraveled the complicated race for valuable artifacts, Outer Banks Season 5 will likely dive deeper into the fallout of JJ's death and how it affects the other Pogues' character arcs through grief. Before JJ's death, the Pogues were dealing with multiple issues. Pope Hayward faced the threat of jail time for helping JJ escape and was almost forced into the Marines. Sarah Cameron is expecting her first child with John B. Routledge, and they're trying to make their marriage official in court. Meanwhile, Rafe Cameron may have finally found redemption. Despite the finality surrounding JJ's death, there are still plenty of loose ends to be tied up in the show's last season. After JJ causes trouble by vandalizing the downtown area of Figure 8, the Kook-dominated side of town, the group searches for clues as to where he might have run off. Sarah slips into the local drugstore for a pregnancy test, which turns out positive. In the bathroom, she confides in Kiara Carrera, planning to tell John B. once they're settled for the day. Sarah's pregnancy is a major twist in Season 4 and the first among the Pogues. Sarah and John B.'s relationship has grown stronger every season since they met in the first season. The couple has been there for each other through thick and thin, from treasure hunting to family problems and the loss of both their fathers. At the end of Season 3, Ward Cameron takes a bullet for Sarah, and Big John, John B.'s father, passes away after an altercation with Singh's men. Sarah and John B. plan to marry and keep the pregnancy, as they have the happiest and healthiest relationship on the show, with open communication and unwavering support. While the pregnancy is welcomed by the couple, who are 19 years old now, Outer Banks' final season will likely explore their struggles to find stability to raise a child, as they're currently unhoused. Both have trauma from their upbringings in different ways and will need to address these feelings as they prepare to raise their child. Outer Banks Season 4 revealed that JJ was adopted, and his biological parents were Kooks. His mother was the late Larissa Jenrette, and his father was Chandler Groff, a former Pogue who married into Figure 8 wealth. Although JJ was cautiously optimistic about getting to know his father, the season ends with a shocking revelation that Chandler is an internationally wanted violent criminal responsible for multiple deaths in the Outer Banks and beyond, including Larissa, JJ's grandfather Wes, and others. As Chandler races the Pogues for the prized Blue Crown in Morocco, he ultimately stabs and kills his own son, JJ. JJ was a lifelong best friend to the Pogues and Kiara's boyfriend. Reckless but fiercely loyal, his selfless nature often kept the group together and helped several members out of tight spots throughout Outer Banks' 4-season run. Devastated by his death and aware that Chandler was headed to Portugal with a rare artifact, the group decides to plot their revenge by targeting Chandler. Meanwhile, Pope made a life-altering decision. Usually the most level-headed of the Pogues, Pope acted on impulse and shot and killed Leitner, a violent mercenary. The murder was in retaliation for Terrence, a ship captain who acted as a surrogate father to Cleo Anderson, Pope's girlfriend. Terrence had helped the Pogues survive the Caribbean and was brutally murdered by Leitner in front of Cleo this season. Once Leitner's men find out who killed him, they are likely to come after Pope as well. In Outer Banks Season 4, we finally saw Rafe's redemption arc unfold. Initially hesitant, he decides to join forces with the Pogues after Chandler makes an enemy out of him as well, aligning both of them on the same side in the treasure hunting battle. When Rafe expresses his fear of trusting Sarah after everyone in his life has let him down, she reminds him that she's all he has left. The two finally reconcile after 3 seasons of opposition. Rafe briefly mentions his attempt to free Wheezy, the youngest Cameron sister, from their stepmother Rose's custody. Rose frequently conspired to commit crimes with the Camerons' late father Ward, Charles Eston. Ward redeemed himself by making the ultimate sacrifice to save Sarah in Outer Banks Season 3. Now that Sarah and Rafe are finally on the same side and have learned to forgive each other, It's likely they'll soon work together to reunite with their third sibling, Wheezy. Rafe begins a relationship with Sophia, a Pogue who works at the local yacht club in Season 3. This season, Rafe tells another cook that he doesn't take Sophia seriously due to her socioeconomic background. Overhearing this, Sophia betrays him to Hollis Robinson. In a direct contradiction to what Rafe has previously said about Sophia, he tells her he wants to build a home together and proposes with a family ring. When Chandler murders Hollis to maintain full ownership of Goat Island, the layered plot is exposed and Sophia confesses the truth to Rafe. In a crisis in Morocco, Rafe breaks off the engagement over the phone. Given Rafe's reaction to the betrayal, it's safe to assume that this pair is likely to split for good, leaving the door open for a new love interest for Rafe. That said, Deputy Shoop has been a complex character throughout Outer Banks. At the end of Season 1, Rafe shoots Sheriff Peterkin, Adina Porter, and frames John B. for murder. When Shoop takes over Peterkin's position at the police department, he becomes immediately suspicious of the Pogues, always assuming they're guilty of the town's crimes. In reality, many of the town's brutal crimes were actually committed by the Kooks. Towards the end of Outer Banks Season 4, Shoop starts to realize the extent of Figure 8's corruption. After Hollis turns up dead with strangling wounds, he begins to connect the dots. An in-depth search reveals that Chandler is a member of the international treasure-hunting mercenary group, the Lupin Corsairs. Shoop learns that Chandler has multiple false identities, has been married twice, and is wanted in several countries. He also figures out that Chandler must have killed the man on the beach and Wes Jenrette, both of whom were strangled in quick succession. Recognizing Chandler as a skilled manipulator with blood on his hands, Shoop finally decides to let the Pogues go and question how he's been handling the town's criminal cases. Season 5 could see Shoop actively working towards criminal justice reform locally, aiming to bring Chandler and other corrupt cooks to justice. Last but not least, Pope is the only member of the Pogues who has been working on getting his GED while they set up their surf shop after coming back from South America. Committed to both his friends and his girlfriend Cleo, Pope has always had his sights set on a future beyond the Outer Banks. Thanks to his stable home life, his parents have long supported his academic goals. Despite the setbacks, Pope planned to go to college after a gap year. Now that the group has lost everything, he'll likely go back to relying on his parents and their family fish shop, possibly picking up where he left off with his original plans. However, after getting into trouble for shielding JJ from the law after a courtroom brawl over the land, Pope was almost forced to join the Marines. Instead, he runs off to Morocco to help his friends. Most of the other Pogues are orphans without stable homes, but Pope has always had the support he needs for a more stable future. Season 5 could explore what his future will look like, balancing grief, hopes for his future, and loyalties to the group. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below.